I'm taking everybody's orders right now while we're waiting for the chef to come.
All right, just waiting for some more people to come in. And today we're going to finish part 2, which will be Taurus through Sagittarius. We talk about the full moon. You probably already started to see some of the effects that we were discussing in the previous video, um, with people behaving in certain aggressive manners, car accidents, people trying to get to the hospital, or like confused or kind of almost deluded type of thinking and thought processes. So hopefully none of y'all been drinking or anything like that. Just gonna pull up my notes real quick. Part 2. Yep, that's how you say it too. Part 2. Let's see. All right. So hopefully you guys' week has been going well, especially with all the contention that's been going on, people being kind of impulsive and reckless. But we'll just jump right into it with Taurus. So Taurus for this week, Venus will be in your 12th house because it's currently in, if I remember correctly, I think it's in Aries. Um, but yeah, so it's in Aries in the 12th, which should deal with the ideas around love, money, idealism, deception, and confusion. And because Uranus in your North Node is currently in your 4th, these will deal about changes around making yourself new, following your life path and your purpose. But some of these things could be cloudy, and they can be at the highest point, they could be very idealistic, but at the lowest point, it could be some deception and confusion in how we change and make ourselves over. So we'll just get into it in a second. With this, you'll have relationships and behavior that are very attuned to your behavior and who you are. And I guess you could say who you're churning into and the idealism that you kind of want to. The downside is that some of these behaviors can skew people about who you really are. Like, we can get so idealistic that we can confuse people about who we really are. When you have your moon trine your ascendant, and so this would be really good. You probably get a lot of positive attention, be very popular, and have a lot of mental adaptability, be able to go through life changes. You also have a positive aspect of Mercury, so very vital, curious. um, you also have something where you can start off the week being very prudent, honest, and hardworking. You do have a aspect to Pluto where it can make you very independent and even have extreme behavior. Um, you can be able to recover from a lot of things, but the downside is that I don't think you really understand what impressions you're making on other people and the types of effects you have on others as well. Especially since your ascendant is square Lilith, and right now, if I remember correctly, Lilith is in Leo, and so we can be garnering attention or have quiet desires for attention or battling for attention internally, or at home in these types of dynamics, and so we're not really seeing how we're coming off. And so whatever we're battling for attention at home, battling for love, or rejecting or having rejection in romance, or being heartfelt, or issues with our children, and just being honest and open and enjoying our personalities and any type of attention we get, it kind of pushes over into your 10th house in career. And that's what I noticed for the Taurus risings. Taurus risings are, they'll have some issues with their career because they have just a lot of unresolved issues internally and at home. Hey, Steve. So I can see that definitely being an issue for them as the week goes on. Let's see. You also have it where certain aspects with your ruler, this can highlight feminine characteristics even in both genders. It also supports artistic abilities and inclination, and it can be very optimistic and enjoy being around people. It can be great for creativity and fashion this week for Taurus risings. The downside is that you have you have a lot of physical strength and ability to work hard, but you'll be taking unnecessary risk and may also be impulsive and selfish and easily excitable, which can lead you to getting into a lot of accidents and getting into a lot of arguments with other people. So try to be careful. Let's see. You do have a square with the moon, which can lead to emotional confusion in your emotional needs, and frequently have problems when you have to choose your romantic partner or anything that deals with your emotions. And you could also be in situations where you could possibly have to compete for the affections of other people. Yes, there is an aspect where you can be very considerate and kind, and they usually have, for Taurus rising, they'll have a lot of friends, they'll have a lot of free time. They'll be, again, very creative and do things in a relaxed manner. Overall, these aspects can be kind of lucky for them. The downside is again, the issues with attention that can affect their career, because these people can be popular at work, that they can tend to be jealous or dissatisfied with working environments, or like the attention, because it's the way it's aspecting the chart. And the reality is that for Taurus risings, you guys are getting more than enough attention, and I guess you have to deal with the aspects and forms of rejection as it's tied to your identity. And so maybe we're holding on to like more rejection, or feeling like maybe we're a loser somewhere, and we're not really a loser. You just have to work through some of your issues. It actually being able to emotionally make sense of these issues too. By the full moon, which was around the 7th or 8th, hopefully everybody was safe. Y'all weren't drinking and doing any of those things. Saturn and Pisces, it'll be in 11th, but it'll be in your 6th, and so you'll have to work on things tied to your health, have issues with rumors, and keeping info to yourself. Even if you're cool with co-workers, I would not say anything to anyone, because you're still, even though you're very popular Taurus risings, you still have it where you struggle to emote things. You can emote things on an emotional level, and randomly just at work, people can just start gossiping about you, or people that you thought were cool with can just start stuff with you. So I really wouldn't, like, in these next couple weeks, I really would try to keep things under wraps about sharing anything with anyone, especially like as it pertains to work. If I was a Taurus rising, just try to keep
share
things.
your lunch with your coworkers.
Yeah, and it's even coworkers that you would be cool with. So like, they turn around, this my work friend, blah blah blah, and then they just change up on you real quick. Because how this whole thing is like I told you, it's like where people are lying, where people are deceptive, where people are emotionally holding back on things. I would not do that if I was a Taurus rising. This really isn't the week for that, because people just are acting really funny this week, acting very impulsive, and just having verbal diarrhea. And so, like, even if you cool with somebody, because how we had conversations about what the full moon was going to be a couple days ago, we already discussed, like, hey, somebody can be cool with me, but they can be impulsive and rash, and they can say stuff without really thinking things through. And you already going to have a very much so hard time with your emotions this week for Taurus rising, and also communicating. And so we can also have hard times. Great for creativity, but can have some issues with love, romance, power dynamics, and control. And so we could be in spaces where people are acting very funny or weird with us. So I would not suggest it if I was a Taurus rising. Any questions for Taurus risings before I move on to Aries risings? All right. So, before let me greet everyone. Hey Lauren, hey Steve, hey Alicia, hey Dark Horse. So yeah, we're gonna move on to Aries risings. And so for Aries risings, Mars is in the 3rd house, and so this can deal with a lot of communication, deal with a lot of energy and wanting to get things done. These people can be very ambitious, and have an ambitious mind of wanting to learn a lot of things, you know, soak in a lot of information. Hi, Kim. I think I said it right. Is it Ikim or Iking? Let me know. But yeah, so writing, speaking, and communicating will be a big thing for Aries risings. And so they'll have like restlessness and verbal aggression. The upside is, the uptick or the positive side of this is that for the Aries risings, you can learn a lot of things. You can pick up a lot of things. Downside, you can get into verbal spars with people because it's in your 3rd house. You also have Venus, Jupiter, North Node, Chiron in your 1st house. And so this dealing with a lot of luck, a lot of healing, and a lot of your life purpose dynamics are going on. Because of how Mars is aspected, it's Iking. Okay. So because of how Mars is aspected, you know, you can kind of be a handful yourself. You know, you're not necessarily the easiest person to get along with, you know. Yes, you can learn a lot of stuff, but I can see you wearing people out real quick, because there's something here where you kind of like, really, it's kind of hard for people to tell you about yourself. So you should really be careful, because it's like you kind of have like, I can do nothing wrong, and then it can lead to a lot of anger and aggression, and even like sleeplessness. And you know, you should really try to be open to the opinions of other people. You know, it can really get you in a situation. The good thing is that, you know, you feel really good and emotionally supported, you know, but the downside is that, you know, it could be some issues. And some of these issues knock you off from your life purpose or moving into your North Node. And some of these issues can put you at odds with primal things, dealing with your Lilith, or dealing with survival, or taking actions about your own rejection, or, you know, surviving or winning, or dealing with your own darkness and your own erotic obsession. So these could be a little bit harder to deal with, or harder to integrate, or struggling with where you don't fit in, or where you feel like you don't belong, and other parts of like rejection. So when I think about between that, and then also having just confusion, because you do have it where it can square Neptune, and it can be confusion and not really sure which path to take, and you can either get sidetracked and basically be forced to do tasks repeatedly. You should probably look for a creative outlet to put these energies, which is why you should keep an open mind if you're Aries risings about listening to other people and taking in guidance from others, because on one aspect, you really want to go get these done, boom, 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 great. Another, the other side of this is like, okay, yes, you can do that, but there's also a lot of confusion about how you want your actions to be. And because of that, a lot of your actions are kind of at odds with your belief, or you're like, who you are is kind of at odds with your belief. So you can kind of feel confused about what path to take or how to do things, which is probably why it's for the best that you try not to be too irritable, too grumpy, and starting with people, because some of these people can give you direction about where to go or what to do. So the good thing is that you'll have emotional resilience. You can be able to get through stuff. You'll be determined, you know, hardworking, honest, prudent. The downside is, well, it could be some kind of issues with rebelliousness or shocks and surprises, and you going against the grain no matter what, or whatever the cost, or doing things at any cost. Yes, you could be original, you have a great idea, but what good is it if you're doing it at any cost? And so again, some of your actions can be counterproductive to who you are in essence. And so if you're an Aries rising, you know, you can be more dreamy, you can be trying to figure yourself out, but there's an aspect where, you know, there's a side where you want to be intuitive and understanding, and then there's another side where you can be kind of like a spoiled child, and it's hard to adapt to new situations. So again, this is why I would say you should stay away from alcohol and any of these influences while you're trying to understand who you are and your own influence.
So they can't listen to that Jamie Foxx song?
No. So like, you guys can kind of be kind of a handful this week. And it does, like, the way you're at, like, these things is like your actions are kind of put you at odds with rejection and put you in there. And then your ascendant kind of helps you to be more malleable because you're open to figuring out who you are. It really is a paradox, but I actually would just suggest you all to just hang tight and try not to rock the boat too much, because you're still trying to figure out, there's a new identity, I think, that Aries risings are trying to forge, and you don't want to rock the boat too much, to the point where you're not working with anyone, and you're just actually causing more stress or tension than what is necessarily needed. Hey, dice. So around the full moon, this will be your sixth house, and so again, you guys can have work that's tied to health, or maybe you work in the health field, or things that are tied to, like, taking care of your own health. You can be, again, issues with rumors, and also keeping secrets or info to yourself at work, even with coworkers that you're cool with, because again, even though this is for a different reason than the other person, because there's a combativeness that can get you into trouble, and you're also still trying to figure out who you are and figure out your own moves, and so you don't need anyone speaking on things or reacting in certain ways without you having things figured out yourself. Hey, all three of y'all. But yeah, like, you don't need somebody kind of like plotting on things while you're still trying to figure out. And there's a defensiveness that's there already with the Aries rising, with how Mars is, the rulership of Aries is how it's aspected to the first house. So yeah, just really try to take it easy. As the week goes on, you'll have more magical thinking. You'll be tapped into your creative space, and more of your sixth sense, so your intuition should be high. But there can be impatience in your thoughts and impulsiveness. You could be, again, closed-minded and missing facts. So solitude could be on the menu, and I would suggest you to listen to the still small voice. Taking care of your health and doing with aspects of charity. And really watch how you enable people and also yourselves. This could be also a good time for action, initiative, and leadership and achievement on an internal or quiet level, especially through solitude, meditation, visualization, and healing your own spirit, which can help you to heal your own identity complexes, which you should be struggling with by now. And it can lead to a renewed sense of self. Because you're doing all of this, there could be false starts, and so there could be you taking, because there's a confusion about what you're trying to do and what you're trying to figure out, and also deception around your identity, what you're trying to do, and people being deceptive. There could be false starts, and they could be reverse decisions. Hence why I would tell all the Aries risings not to tell anybody your business, particularly around work, just like how I told the Taurus risings, because there can be things that are done over again. So keep that in mind. I want the cashew one.
Excuse me, you stay on your professional.
No, I want the cashew one if they have it.
Oh, okay, I want one with nuts in it.
No, I want the one that she had, the cashew.
BMORE can have the. I'll take one of those with nuts.
No, I want cashew.
She wants the cashew one, the smooth.
The other one.
I'll message it to you.
Cashew vanilla bean. All right. So yeah, it can lead to reverse decisions and reverse starts. So really, Aries rising should really protect whatever they're doing, and while they're trying to figure out these things, and move into more solitude, because you do have it where people can mess up your stuff, where you have to do things over and over again. You can get into false starts. People promise you things that they can't keep. And this is where, what I say, people are lying and deceiving. And sometimes the people that are lying and deceiving are yourself, or there could be deception. And so while you're trying to figure out yourself, you don't need to be in spaces where you're deceiving yourselves, there's confusion about yourselves, and then other people are in the mix bringing confusion and deception as well. Because there's a few signs where they're kind of going over new identity complexes, and they're trying to formulate new identities. And Aries is one of them. So you just need to lay low. Hey, Lisa. But no, you just lay low and try not to share too much information while going through all of these things. All right. So, any questions, Aries risings, before we move on to Pisces risings? All right. So, Pisces. Neptune is in your first house, and again, just like I said for Aries, you'll be undergoing identity complex and renewing your sense of self, and there could be a false starts and reverse decisions. Although with you, there will be luck and opportunity, and confidence and creativity and learning new sense of self. Actually, both of you could have that because it's just how the first house is placed and how everything is. Um, Sun, Mercury, and Venus. Sun, Mercury, and Venus, Chiron all in your first, Saturn in your 12th, and it's all conjunct. And so this can really force you to unconsciously try to do. I miss Taurus. Yes, Dice, you really miss Taurus by like the skin of your teeth. But for the most part, like, it's really not by much. I'll try to skim over it. Look, y'all will have an easy breezy time. You know, y'all will have a lot of socializing and fun. But whatever you're dealing with at home with all this weird attention seeking and having rejection and attention, it affects your career. And so because of that, even with people that you're cool with for Taurus, keep your secrets to yourself. Don't gossip at work, even with people you cool with. Don't tell nobody nothing. Okay, that's pretty much the quick flip, but you can watch the replay, but don't tell nobody nothing. Not collabing with folks at all, or just watching what you say around people. Candy, are you a Pisces, or was you a Aries rising? Because y'all got to, some of these signs, as I'm getting close together, because the Aries, Taurus, Pisces, y'all in a very weird predicament where like a hater could just come out and just scratch y'all back. Like, y'all really have to be careful for Aries. Okay, not saying y'all can't work with people, but y'all have to be careful. Watch what you say.
Discernment.
Watch what you say. Like, you have to work with people because you at work. You know, I'm not gonna tell y'all get rolled up. Like, no.
Just be suave.
Yeah, but just be wise.
Smooth,
like,
but distant.
Yeah, because these three signs, just like how I was saying, like, there were certain signs that was going to get sick with the other one, and then they said, what was his name? What's the boy that got sick after he said he hate women?
Oh, they claim he Andrew Tate. Now they're saying, first of all, people were in his camp said he had cancer. Now they're saying he may not have cancer, but whatever, he has some type of health
disease.
Something's going on because he keeps going to the hospital.
Okay. That is crazy. But to my point is, like, there's certain signs this week that, okay, y'all kind of, I want to say like y'all in a weak spot, but y'all in a spot where somebody could roll up on y'all in certain ways, and some of the other girls got a little bit more protection, you know. And so like with Aries, some Taurus, because Taurus is a little laid back, so they can get done up at work. Y'all watch your mouths. You know, don't say too much, you know.
Don't get smart with nobody.
Or whatever. Don't, you know, just watch your mouths, because y'all could give up too much of your information, and then again, a hater come scratch y'all back up. For Aries, you know, I don't want y'all to get fired. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying y'all get fired or nothing. But again, you can have rumors. These three signs, like, particularly like with Taurus and Aries, y'all can have people like spreading rumors about y'all. And so that's why I said, even with people y'all cool with, don't say nothing, because you need to keep the rumors down to a max.
And also, BMORE's about to put in her
down to a minimum.
She's about to put her cash app in the chat so people can donate. Also, y'all support will eventually help BMORE's channel to get monetized, and also the viewership is doing very well. So congratulations to all the people who've been supporting Dummies, Cauldron and getting the valuable information you need.
Oh, that's true. But yeah, like, y'all keep all that stuff down to a minimum, because y'all just have it where y'all could really catch a L, you know, somewhere. So y'all really have to be careful. You know, people could come up and say all types of stuff about you, and you just sitting there. You know? So, like, just keep that in mind for the, I got you for the Taurus, was one of them with work, and then the other one was, Aries. Y'all have to really be careful, because y'all, that's why I said there's a level of deception this week where, you know, people are being very, very sneaky. You know, very sneaky, very deceptive. You know, and it's a couple signs where rumors are about, but, you know, there's some other signs that can get away with it. What you say?
That's funny, though, that Diana, you said made this account to be a troll. You put message delete.
Wait, what?
Someone deleted one of one of the mods, I think, or deleted
What did she
Diana.
say?
She said, I made this account just now so I can troll.
That wasn't me. That's probably was Google.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's fun. No, I know it was you, but I'm saying it's funny. Trying to be cute.
But yeah, y'all really should be careful, because like some of y'all, like, okay, if you got a Libra rising, they'll gossip about you, but you're also supposed to be resting, so they can't really do that much if you not there. So they just running their lip. You just lay low.
So if you have enough days, I guess, to relax,
like a Libra,
take off as a Libra ascendant.
Now for Aries, I don't necessarily see that per se, but y'all should still be careful, because like this is a good time to just have some solitude and just work on things yourself. Like work on whatever little projects you have in the bag and just have that sorted out. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But like y'all just keep that in mind, because again, the gossip, the rumors, and deception is a thing. It's on the menu. Especially when we have like Pisces and Virgo involved, because these can deal with forms of deception and lies and stuff like that as well. And especially when we have Mercury in Pisces too. Let's see. Okay, I wish I could be in the chat more. I'm at the gym. It's okay. It's okay. Hey Gigi, just just message when you can. Duly know that I'm born April 19th, down the middle, Aries Taurus with a Sag moon. I'm making a transition work-wise. Yeah, Sean, you just be safe. I don't need nobody get hurt at the gym. But I'm just letting you know, I do these type of things for the rising signs. So if you would like to do your sun, if your sun is in the first house, that could work too. But if it's not, but that's how I do these types of predictive readings. They're not really built for those types of things.
Who was the person asking?
Well, they're not asking. They were just saying that they're an Aries Taurus with a Sag moon. I'm just reminding people like how the readings go.
Oh yeah, for the
because sometimes you come up to somebody to get the reading done and they'll tell you if it's for the moon or whatever, you just like lost. But yeah, just keep it easy. Just try to just take it easy, especially with the gossiping, because and with the Aries and the Pisces, y'all both have it where y'all undergoing like identity changes right now. So like where the Taurus is a little bit better is there could be deception and confusion while they have it, but they're not necessarily going identity changes. They're not confused about who they are per se. Now there could be some deception and confusion there. That is what I say is very similar with Taurus, Aries, and Pisces, but not necessarily I'm changing who I am, or I'm trying to learn something new or cultivate something new within myself, which that means you're very vulnerable, and that does mean that if someone does not like you or they got something weird going on, that's a prime time for somebody to swipe in and scratch your back up. Prime time, because you're already confused. Now what I would say about Aries and Pisces is that y'all do have Jupiter there to give you a little bit luck, and Taurus doesn't necessarily have luck per se. Jupiter isn't there working to give him luck on overtime. So like y'all that little click right there, y'all chill. Y'all really have to chill out. Try to keep things close to the chest. So now let's move on to the Pisces. So again, Pisces risings, y'all want to have the identity complexes. Yes, you'll have luck, you'll have opportunities, and so these things will help you get out of situations. Yes, you could be in situations where you have to do things over and over again. You'll have lucky opportunities. You just have to make sure you're researching things deeply, and we're not being impulsive or lazy, and not seeing what the full ramifications with any luck that we have to make the best out of it. But yes, there's a healing wisdom that's going on right now, especially with yourself, and especially with this whole Jupiter Venus Chiron conjunction, and they all like working together to apply healing wisdom. And this is a general transit that everyone could have, but in this case for for Aries and Pisces, how everything is set up, all of these things are in the first house, and so this kind of, some of this effect is on your individual person and your personality. So some of the healing and the wisdom you'll get from your sense of self.
So you see the headsets over there?
You mean the headsets that fell over on the side?
Oh, okay.
That I'm not going to climb over there and get? Yeah, over there. On the floor. Right there.
BMORE always throwing my stuff around.
I didn't throw it around.
I know. It fell. I'm messing with you.
Yeah. Now go get it.
Don't be trying, because I'll spank you on your live show.
No, you're not.
No, I wouldn't.
I know.
It's a professional show.
Thank you. We're at work.
That's true. See?
You must be one of the Aries Taurus on Pisces rising. See? Work. Y'all getting caught up with work. I keep trying to tell y'all, you know, the workflow gonna get y'all. So we at work, girl. You don't, no spankings off the menu. But yeah, so there can be some things there. Let me see. Let me scroll back up. Give me just a second, guys. Okay, so with Pisces, Moon can be in opposition with Ascendant, and so this can feel like we're at odds with our emotions, at odds with family, and just in general emotional safety and being able to cope with life. It'll be conjunct Mercury, and so our minds will be very busy. And so when you have Mercury in opposition with the Moon, some of these effects could come off with having emotion versus logic, and just having general and overall confusion. Would not suggest you to buy anything or make any major purchases at the time, especially towards the beginning, like how this week is set up. Yes, with Saturn there, it does apply some very deep concentration. It does apply a deep focus where you want to study things very deeply. You want to understand things deeply. But this can bring out a lot of worries and regrets and being caught up in the past and learning from experiences, which can be the best benefit of it. But it can also give you mechanical problems and just negative thinking. And so what I would suggest the Pisces rising is to try to be careful about what we buy and what we do, and to try not to make any sudden or impulsive decisions quickly, because there is an aspect where you kind of could be hard on yourself, and while you're trying to undergo these changes, kind of not really cutting yourself any slack either. So this does again positively aspects Pluto, and so yes, you'll be more ambitious. You have a lot of willpower. You want to get things done. Again, this does give it where it does come up where you can be so intense that you not understand how you can come off. And it's in a hard opposition with like a mild hard aspect, a minor aspect with Chiron. And so this could also mean there could be some issues with healing or processing things, hence like getting caught up in regret, just being upset with these types of things. It could really be a struggle. So as this week goes on with the full moon, there could be an issue with being happy, dealing or emotionally satisfied, or having emotional grace, or just feeling an overwhelming sense of discomfort for the Pisces risings. The full moon will be your seventh house, and so there could be issues with needing to compromise or having people block your plans and just come up, and you feel like people stopping you from what you need to do. This could also have like serious relationship dynamics or an engagement or marriage. These things can be postponed, and things like these types of things not get done. But again, overall this week, you'll feel like, you know, your personality is at odds with your feelings, or like your sense of self is at odds with your feelings, and it's hard for you to like emote or feel close to like who you are as a person, because again, you're undergoing so many changes during this time and trying to come up with a new sense of identity, because Neptune is still in your first house, and it'll be there for the next 3 years. And so while you're trying to figure these things out, it could be really overwhelming, especially with how some of these things are. I can imagine these past couple weeks, especially with the new moon in Pisces and then the following illumination in Virgo, and then it could give you relationship issues because there feels like there's no compromise, and you feel like people keep holding you back, and then you feel like people keep stopping you from doing the things or the plans that you want to achieve. And so this can, at this time, like I could see a Pisces rising feeling very, very limited or very, very trapped into some of these dynamics, and not really feeling free. I actually, and because of that, it is a very an emotional state. It's not actually what's logically happening. So try to keep that in mind. Okay, let's see. No problem. I can. Let's see. But yeah, so any questions with the Pisces risings before I get onto Aquarius? Because I'm about to get onto the Aquarius risings, just in general, for some of the energies during this week. What y'all listening to? I'm gonna be honest, because this is the East Coast, that's somebody else listening to that. That's not even my thing. It's actually more than one song playing in the background from different people. So like, I don't know what they're listening to.
Y'all have to remember that Atlanta has become the new East Coast.
That is true.
So there's a lot of people from New York and other places everywhere in Atlanta. So it is what it is.
Everybody, it's what it is people in close proximity, all listening to different music.
Yeah.
Overlapping.
Y'all know how it is being in the city. That's not like brand new.
So I'm just sitting here like,
you just doing what you're doing.
That ain't even me. But anyway.
Did they like the
fake
Chris Brown music?
The fake Chris Brown. Why go by rising or ascendant sign? Okay, so why go by that can be more effective than your sun sign. Mainly because it gives a precision and particularly timing. So your rising sign or your ascendant sign is your first house. It deals with your personality and aspects of your physical body. Whereas your sun sign is your ego and how you can technically recognize or want to be recognized. But, and I am going to come up with a series for you to understand, like, your sun sign in theory is technically, you kind of technically grow into those things because the sun and the moon are aspects that are ruled by your parent dynamics, whereas your rising sign can be heavily tied to, I guess you could say, how your relationship to these things, these dynamics, and also a ego shield, so that way these dynamics can be cultivated. So like your rising sign comes up as certain ways for ego development or personality development, while the soul is still processing or learning to become at one or in harmony with your moon sign and your sun sign. So yes, this is a framework in which, there's a sun, moon, rising, which, sometimes y'all see me do it and I'm like, okay, this says this about your parents, your mother, you, blah, 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 blah. But to get to the pinnacle of these things is self-individualization, or people learning about who they are, or the soul learning about life and who they are. And so in order to do this takes time and maturation. That's why people are here and as humans. And so your rising sign gives you a specific thing about what the body is physically doing or the personality is physically going through versus the other. Because the rising sign is yourself, whereas your descendant, which is on the other side, is other people or the external world. Whereas the sun sign is not necessarily, it is self, but not necessarily dealing with dynamics of the external world. It deals with self, it deals with eternity, what you want to be recognized for, and basically what you aspire to as far as in what you build in a kind of like eternal sense. So ego. So like prime example, if the sun sign is your ego, right? You know how people be like, they'll have a saying, it's like, this person will be wrong all day because of their ego. That's a sun principle. That is a solar principle. So like, because the sun or the solar energy or the ego is eternal, it's without time, they can do this all day long. Now we know that human bodies have time, and time does wear on people. That's why I go by the rising sign, and furthermore, when we deal with the sun signs, they can be in any house. So you could be, just say if you had an Aries sun, You can have somebody from an Aries sun in the first house to someone with an Aries sun in the 12th house, and all the numbers in between from 1 to 12. That means I would have to do more calculations for Aries in the first house, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all the way up to 12. Whereas I can just make a video where it's like your rising sign for the zodiac. So if you have an Aries rising versus having to quantify an Aries sun from the first house to the 12th, which it can encapsulate more people, and more people can be involved with more precision. Hopefully that makes sense, but it gives you more precision. You get less precision with the sun signs because you don't know what people's houses are. It's less precise. That's why when people do it, like the traditional horoscopes is like the sun in the first house, but most people don't have sun in the first house. I'm not saying it's like nobody has it, but there's some people who don't have it. So what if you have sun in the fourth and they made a whole thing with sun in the first, and you sitting there like, what? That's why I say, like, if y'all want to, if I do y'all rising sign and y'all happen to have the sun in the first house, knock yourself out. You know, if you have like the sun, moon, or rising technically in that first house, you can check for that as well. But if you have it in a different house number, it becomes less precise because the house number does color or create an effect how that planet is going to like display itself. So you basically catch more, that's what you say, catch more, like two birds with one stone. You catch more people with just doing the rising, because the rising will always be the first house no matter what. And the first house is personality, is your body, and how you come off to the world. It's yourself versus the other. So it's way easier to do it. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, I'm not saying they're astrologists who never do it with your sun, because they are. There are some people who do it with other things, but it would take we have to calculate for so many things. So it was so many numbers in between. Am I late? So fast, just a little bit, but I was late too. But we all black, so we're just gonna be late. Let's see. Gemini moon, Aries rising. Oh no, I literally just did Aries rising. Like literally, like talking about how y'all can be caught up in workplace beef, people lying, and you know, y'all keeping stuff close to your chest at work. Don't gossip too much, because y'all could be at the behest of rumors. So I literally just did that one, and you can listen to that on the replay. But yeah, my rising sign is Capricorn. DG, we didn't get to that yet. What does that mean? We didn't get to the Capricorn risings yet, but in general, Capricorn risings deal with ambitions, goals, and dynamics of power and prestige. And so when we deal with ambitions and goals and prestige, and judgment, and so that's what that deals with authority figures and male figures. And so these are how you would closely identify yourself as opposed to the other people. And so you can possibly heavily identify with this depending on how your chart is. But in general, you'll heavily identify with these things. You'll identify with work and career and working hard and tough tasks. I do notice that Capricorn risings tend to burn out quite quickly. You know, they have a cat where they work themselves into the ground. You know, they work very hard. And you know what? Let me give y'all a fun fact. If y'all go watch the Disney's Hercules version, if you listen to A Star Is Born, they literally say Hercules rising sign is Capricorn. No cap, not even capping, because you know. But I didn't get to Capricorn yet, and what they're gonna be experiencing in these couple days. But yeah, they really are known for like hard work, judgment, and being dynamics of power and tough tasks. And so that's really what it is for them. It's basically kind of like work until they get to the top. It's very ambitious placement, and so people can see you as being very ambitious. All right, so for Aquarius risings, there is a openness that you have, and so I can see you being very open-minded, and you wanted to take classes, you wanted to expand, and you wanted to really just experience the world. The one with the black women singing, yes, yeah, in one of their songs they sing that Hercules rising sign is Capricorn. Like I actually like know the lyrics, but yeah, it's, You know how like people don't learn lyrics, but I'm like, no, they say his rising sign is Capricorn. But yeah, so Aquarius risings, y'all will be very open-minded and y'all want to just get out there, get interested in life, stick your hands in everything, and it's great. And so the downside a little bit is that right now for Aquarius risings, and it's been going on for these past couple of years, but you'll have daily unexpected things happening on the daily, especially with relatives in your neighborhood. So this could be siblings, other family members, maybe unexpected new family members coming in, more people moving into your neighborhood, to your home. Like, it could do with stuff like this, because there's such an openness right now, and it's in your third house. It could also be like with things of having to move or move around. During this issue, I ain't peeped that BMORE definitely Ravenclaw. Actually, that's what I got into. I definitely got into Ravensclaw. So, yeah. I did. I tested right into that joint. I'm like, yeah. But yeah, so right now, there can be an energy, like, for Aquarius risings, like, early this week, there could be an energy of loneliness or having to do things alone or having to get out here and really get it. Again, perfect for memory, getting things done, but again, having regrets on shoulda, coulda, woulda, on how much could I accomplish and how much could I do, or how much could I achieve, or what I should have done, or how I could have done this better, and blah, 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 and and the list just goes on. This does put it at a hard aspect, or some minor aspects, with being at odds with comfort, beauty, and partners or lovers, and feeling lucky in grace and wisdom. You can have some odds right here. It does put you at a good situation with Pluto, and being very ambitious and working to get all of these things done. You'd be very ambitious. Like, look, I'm here to come in here. I need to get this done, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And there's a drive for personal freedom and independence that can push you to break free of all of these restraints. But changes made around this time can be irrevocable, unchangeable. So this can likely turn your world upside down, and when you're caught in the middle of all these power plays and these dynamics and all these shifts, the best is to regroup, restart, and to learn to adapt. And so that's what the Aquarius risings are going through right now. And I particularly told y'all, I think last week, the week before, that Pluto, and I will be doing some stuff with Pluto coming in, because Pluto has a transit that's coming in for the next 20 years. And so I'll do a general video about asking questions, and then on my Patreon, we'll have some more on hand things of how to plan for Pluto in Aquarius, because it'll be in Aquarius for 20 years. And so I have some worksheet and some other things that we're going to work through of how to plan and make things possible, and make the best use out of Pluto in Aquarius. I'm also currently working, this will probably drop before Pluto in Aquarius, on Saturn and Pisces, about how to make dreams come true, or dreams become a reality. That'll be on my Patreon too. And I'll do a general overview on my YouTube, but getting deep into where it will be in your house sign, and how to make the best of this, and getting the worksheet, and asking personal questions on how to make the best of this, that'll be on my Patreon. I'm still working on some of the worksheets and some of the other stuff for it, but and also some watch along content, so you can understand how Saturn is affected by Pisces. So you can really understand what it looks like, watching it in real time, real life, or watching it through media, or what these things kind of look like. And what you want to do for the next 2 years, because around 2.5 to 3 years, Saturn will be in Pisces. And for the next 20 years, Pluto will be in Aquarius. And so, I'll be putting all of the more intimate stuff onto the Patreon, just having general conversations about the transits. That'll be here, but for deep dives and going into like deep dives for stuff, that's going over to the Patreon girlies. Hey Tay. But yeah, so for the Aquarius rising, actually Tay, you just got here right on time, because I was talking about Aquarius rising too. But yeah, so this can also like put you at odds with things. So a lot of things could change under these aspects that you're not prepared for, and you just have to regroup and just go with the changes. The good thing is that you could be really in good dynamics with your sense of self with this, but some of these changes can be at odds with like the public work and working dynamics. It can put you off a little bit. Did y'all say that AstroSeek is a good site for full natal chart readings? yes, you can get on there. Like, I like it. You know, I like it. I always tell people to go onto there, you know, if you're just trying to get a general feel of like what these planets are doing. I like AstroSeek. I use it, you know, and I refer people to be on it too. So yeah, this can get you into issues with the work and profession, because again, there's so much changes. And so like when you have Saturn, which is the one of the rulers of your ascendant, when it's square your MC, which is your career and profession and public recognition and authority figures, these people can be very persistent and honest, but in pursuing their goal. But the downside is they can have doubts about their goals and often have to face obstacles and delays. And so there can be a lot of obstacles and delays with work and pursuing your goals and issues of honors, power, and authority figures. So this can really put you in a really interesting dynamic. And you also feel at all with processing all of these changes. Even though you really like them, some of the changes can make you feel emotionally insecure or at odds with people, especially early this week. But for the most part, you kind of handling the changes quite well that are going these past couple years, because where Uranus is, and which is one of your other rulers, it actually puts you in a situation where there's a lot of unexpected changes going on these last couple years, from 2019 and really all the way up to around 2026. You know, Aquarius can have a lot of unexpected changes, and a zeal to have an open mind randomly. The downside, which I do see with Aquarius rising this week, there could be some issues where maybe how you're presenting yourself isn't how you actually are, how you come and go. So again, you can mislead people about who you are. There could be some talents with dealing with other cultures, having wisdom, and being in general informed. You can be very honest and prudent and hardworking this week. There is a thing where, again, there's a Pluto dynamic, and so you can seem very intimidating to people. And, you know, Pluto is pushing in from your 12th into your first house, so you can seem very intimidating, and there could be subconscious power play dynamics or manipulation that could be coming out. There is also an issue of, with the Aquarius risings, maybe your personality, how you're interacting, is moving away from your life goal in these pursuits. And there could be some issues with you being at odds with attention, and being at odds or feeling uncomfortable with getting attention, you versus them, and these dynamics, and other people getting attention, be dynamics and issues with your sexuality, and all types of manners, or issues with being at odds with lovers or being at odds with children. And I think a lot of this, in particular for Aquarius risings, I think a lot of this can be externalized to the point where, for the Aquarius risings, it seems like almost everyone gets more attention to you, or everyone is being very intense, projecting, or selfish, or self-centered in these dynamics. But I really feel like this is an externalized form of manipulation. And I think for Aquarius risings, they have to be careful with some of these aspects, that we're not externalizing experiences versus looking within. So if I keep bumping into people who are manipulative, self-centered, selfish, I have to then question, why am I attracted to these people, and why do I keep coming over here? Because yes, they're selfish, like, and self-centered, but I keep going over there. And so I keep getting into these dynamics with people, and it's about me versus them in these dynamics. They could be selfish. They think that they can be, their sexuality or certain things can be self-possessed, and it could be quite an issue. It could be quite an issue. So I do want you guys to consider these types of dynamics when you're dealing with other people. And so there could be an issue with you rejecting relationships with others, especially if people cannot play the role of the initiator, or if people cannot play the role that you're assigning them. And so if they cannot fall into the role of like how you view the world with your rejection, because there's a level of rejection that you're projecting onto the world. And so if people cannot encapsulate these type of Lilith type themes. And again, we did a video on Lilith on Thought Crimes. It's the Lilith series, which dealing with fascination, erotic obsession, and where people have denial, and where people can be led astray. You know, if people don't fit these themes, I do notice, like right now, Aquarius risings can be at odds with these people, and they can reject them in these relationships. Everyone isn't, like, you have to learn that people aren't here to fill your rejection fantasies. You know, because it's giving to a certain extent like incel energy or femcel for the girls, because when you're dealing with the incel energy, they assume that the whole world hates them and the whole world is going to reject them. And when people don't fall into these lines, they can get kind of upset, and it's all of this other stuff too. So I want y'all to be more open about not prematurely rejecting people off of the grounds of them fitting certain criteria, and this criteria is not even really happening. You know, you just assume that these things are happening. And that's something that I noticed with the Aquarius rising this week too. So you guys should just be careful and try to keep an open mind. I know that sounds like a lot because Uranus is in your 3rd house, and so you should have an open mind. But keep an open mind when interacting with people, because some of these things you guys can be behaving in a way in which you're kind of already assuming that people just, I don't know, y'all getting into a me versus them thing in the efforts to avoid rejection, because you assume that these people are going to behave selfishly or toxically in certain dynamics, and that's not true. Okay. During the full moon this week, Virgo's in the 8th house, and so you can expect unexpected bills, unexpected money issues, unexpected money dynamics. Do not take out any loans. Do not, be careful, because you can also be audited around this time. People might check your finances right now or around this time in these next couple of weeks. So maybe about 2 weeks to the month during this month. So you should be careful with that. Say no to anything that's too good to be true financially. Say no to anything. If excuse me, if you get something and it sounds like, well, if you give me a penny a day, in 2 weeks you'll be a millionaire, anything crazy like that, say no, because it's going to play out within this month, by the next lunation, by the next full moon. So you should be careful. You know, be careful with money things, and you could be audited. People want to pry into your finances for you to pay back debts and loans and things that you owe people. Scott Pilgrim versus the world feeling. Very much so. Very much so. BMORE, your insight into human nature is overall incredible. You know what? Yes, I thank you so much for the compliment, but I also want to just, as a segue to something else real quick. For astrologers, it's really important that you study, because of how traditionally the science / occultic practice / medium was learned. It wasn't learned in a very scientific way. Like, yes, that's part of it, but it was mixed. Like, it's kind of like alchemy mixed with astrology, mixed with psychology, mixed with chemistry. This is how the medium was taught.
And science and
mysticism mixed together.
Combined.
So some Doctor Strange shit, or Dr. Fate. That's how you're supposed to learn it. So you should be, like, in your pursuit to understand or learn astrology, I would suggest anyone to learn or go research on psychology and to learn it thoroughly, because it's going to help you be a better astrologer. Because all of these things, psychology came out of alchemy. In alchemy, a lot of things came out of alchemy. So astrology came out of it, psychology, chemistry, all of these different sciences got broken up. But when you merge them together, it's alchemy. That's it. Alchemy had a lot of things, much boiled up into astronomy came out of it. Like, a lot of things were all jumbled together. So I do support people learning, and I actually am probably, might work on a series of just putting up certain psychological books. I'm actually thinking about possibly there's some psychological workbooks if people want to do it, but I probably will only do those for a few weeks, because sometimes working through your own psychology can be very intense and overwhelming. So possibly having like small groups where if I get a book on perfectionism and it's a psychological book, it's a workbook, and then we all do it together, and boom, 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 you know, it'll be probably for a few weeks, and then we take a break and then we move on to something else, because sometimes the books, they be very, very intense, you know, but keep that in mind. BMORE the Oracle, we Neos. In my case, the Will Smith version. That's funny. When should I file my taxes? I'm dead. Honestly, for y'all, for the Aquarius rising, this actually isn't bad energy to file taxes under, especially if you're trying to catch up on debts or figure out where your money is. But also understand, like, at this time, unexpected bills should come. And so it really depends. I mean, I think, let me look at something real quick. Because we just had a full moon in Virgo, and then the next one would be in Aries or Pisces. Let me see. I think it's Aries. It's in Aries. Yeah. So it's in Aries. So I don't know. It really depends. I have to even think about where y'all even have Aries at. If you have an Aquarius rising. If you have an Aquarius, shouldn't that be in your second house? Possibly have it in your second house. So it's interesting, because if you're in a I'm doing this in my mind, but if you're Aries, if you're Aquarius rising, the Virgo moon would set off a financial audit or having to pay back a loan or unexpected bills. But technically you should either have Pisces or Aries in your second, maybe. And so maybe the new moon in March, on March 21st, should trigger something in your second house about initiations, about making money, something like that. I mean, I have to crack it open to see, but if it's in the first house and the moon is in the 8th, if I'm doing quick maths, then Aries should be in your second house. So possibly, don't quote me though. The moon was so pretty last night. Yes, that was that full moon energy. That was that Virgo moon energy, you know. But y'all should just be a little careful about that. But this is a time for audits and checking your finances. Actually, for the Aquarius rising, y'all should start going through y'all paperwork. You know. Actually, you should really start right now, while you can. All right, any questions, Aquarius risings, before I move on to the next? Because the next one is... Oh, child, this thing's taking so long.
Oh, your laptop loading?
It just be scrolling slow. I think that's what irritates me. Because it go like... I'm like, Lord, scroll faster.
We'll try to clean it up. I think Rock is surprised that Prince got Hufflepuff.
They don't know that, man.
And I got Slytherin.
They don't know, and they don't know you neither. So, with that being said, I don't know why I'm not shocked. Not shocked at all. But I be laying down with these people, so I know them, you know. It's not weird. It's not weird, you know.
People forget that Slytherin is not all bad.
It's not bad.
Merlin, they got busted up later because of the corruption, but...
It was too many scam artists running through y'all house.
At the beginning, Merlin was one of the ones who started that.
And you know what? I'm going to be fair. As a segue, Gryffindor not that better.
Gryffindor is raggedy too.
Because they're raggedy too. Y'all both got... Y'all kind of like to flip the inverse of each other.
And also, Harry Potter became a legend because of his courage. But if you really look at it, his magical capabilities was because one of the Crux was inside of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
he could have been Slytherin.
The Slytherin actually have the stronger magic.
That is true. That's why he almost got Slytherin. But they really ain't that much better though, because they both be ashy. So I don't know why. Lauren, I got Ravenclaw. Me too. Gang. We wasn't involved in none of that shit. We was over there doing math equations and looking at eggs in the corner. I don't know what them girls got going on. You know, the Slytherins and the Gryffindors always scratching each other face up. And the Hufflepuff's about to get bullied. I don't know what's going on with them. Half of them be getting bullied.
Some of them have courage though. Like unfortunately, the one who was killed when he stood up against the Voldemort. Remember the one who plays in Twilight?
Oh, I'm not gonna lie.
There were a lot of
because I came Cedric.
Yeah,
I
Cedric.
came late. Well, badgers are very vicious.
Right.
Quietly.
They're very brave though.
I came to Harry Potter late. Let me tell you why she had me watch this, and Cedric got killed, and he kicked that boy in the head. Girl, why I was crying.
Yeah, so
I was crying.
The Hufflepuff people are very brave.
They are, but I was in there gone. I was crying. I was like, "Oh my God, this is terrible. What are they going to do about this terrorism?"
But outside of his bravery, I do feel that Harry was overrated.
Oh, and that other little joint that came through
magician.
at the end, the one whose parents got killed with Harry's parents.
Yeah, what about him?
I don't know what's his name, but he had heart too. I'll give y'all that.
Oh, the Hufflepuffy one.
Yeah, he was y'all, fuck it, it's just gonna be me at the end.
Yeah, the little chubby
one. I'm like, I respect it because y'all got heart, you know. Yeah, y'all don't let nobody play with y'all.
But I feel Harry himself, his technical skills is overrated, but his passion and I would say purity was not.
I agree.
That's why it was good that the crux was put inside of him, because he didn't become corrupted.
That is true.
But all the people who be thinking Harry is the strongest magician,
not really.
Nope. That crux is what gave him his power.
That's true.
So Voldemort's also insecurities. Oh my goodness.
I think it was crazy.
Crazy as fuck. I'm gonna be immortal. I'm gonna.
I knew he was crazy when he filed his toenails into them points.
And then he put pieces of himself in other things.
He was crazy.
What the hell is wrong?
Yeah, when he got rid of that nose, I said something's wrong with him. Something's wrong with this man. Is disturbed. Disturbing. But yeah, let me see.
Also, our girl, she technically could have been Raven, but she wanted to be with the boys.
Hermione?
Yeah, Hermione.
I agree. I'd be like, but girl, go over to Ravenclaw.
She wanted to chase after them boys, so that's why she didn't go to Ravenclaw.
Yeah, because you know who I like? I like Luna Lovelace. When she was over there and like, oh, hey, Harry. And she's looking at the wall. I that energy. I'm out of here. But
the only reason why, she actually leans way more towards Raven, but the one thing that made her be eligible for the other one is because she's very brave.
She is.
She's very brave. She has a warrior spirit.
Well, okay, I didn't finish the books yet, but when I read the books, they be trying to play Hermione, but Hermione kind of ratchet in there. You know? So she kind of got it, you know. I could see her being, you know.
Well, this goes into the Vedic
she
astrology
bold
a little bit, but it goes into that Nasatra, Atatara, Bharapada. Because that's what Hermione is. Think about it. She was considered a mongrel, someone beneath the...
Oh, Ucha Bada Pada.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. The Cinderella thing.
Right, she came as that. They was like, you half human. You don't... They was trying to make her feel insecure. You don't have real true power.
I get what you're saying. Right. No, that's not bad, though.
Right.
That's good.
And she had to came in and prove herself. That bitch, I don't care if both of my parents ain't magical.
You know what? We might do a video case for Hermione Granger. Is she a Ucha Bada Pada? It's giving that...
She is.
You know, it's giving that it's not true.
Right.
You know. Case for Hermione. Alrighty. Let's see. I need to do
and then her Prince Charming is technically someone who's from a long magical family background. All of his lineage are people who are magical beings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to do a Harry Potter. Girl, you should. You know, it was lit when I got in there. I came in there late, though. I came in there late because I missed that first wave. But I didn't miss that Twilight wave, honey. But I did miss that wave. You know?
I showed BMORE. I was like, BMORE, you're going to love the Harry Potter stuff. So
it said, I want to read the books, but it looked like the Book of Eternity.
Some books are mad long.
But they be good, though. Like, I read the first book. I read the first book. I was like, wow, this is really good. I see why Miss J.K. Rowling is the queen.
That's why she got a Billy.
That's why she got that bill. Y'all said baby can write.
That's what happens when you put Dungeons and Dragons in the book.
And
something obsessive for kids.
That is true. And I was reading another book. Do y'all know some of them sketches, like the concept she came up with on her own too? So like I was looking at the sketches, girl, they just like when you read the book or when you watch the movie, it's like down to the T. I'm like, that's why she got her money.
She's a very brilliant person.
Very brilliant. You know, I know people want to throw eggs at her right now, but I mean, give the lady what she did. Get the lady her flowers because she did that. Because I read that first book, I say, dang, this is really good. You know, she really did the thing.
Well, also remember with Slytherin, when it comes to the color green, green is a color that can mean pure heart or corrupted by envy.
Yeah.
So a lot of the
That's why I said they was haters. They be just hating. Because remember, they was like, lock him up and this door. I'm like, dang, y'all just hated out of nowhere. Like, y'all see how they became haters real quick when Harry came in?
Because the problem
like,
is they started to get leadership that was all about power.
Yeah.
But power with no integrity and principle is misused chaos.
I can see that. I can see that. But dang, I'm like, when I was reading that thing and watching the movies, and I just see how quick a Slytherin start hating on you, I'm like, wow, I see why Harry got out of there.
And Slytherin people are way more nosy.
They are nosy.
So people be like, no, you can't do this magic. So we're going to go and try to do this magic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so you going to meet me in the back, we're going to rob them. We're going to just take it.
Yeah,
but you know what I don't like about Gryffindors? They be trying to run up on you and have meetings like a lion pack. They try to all come to you and complain about something you did. Man, get out of my face.
Well, with Gryffindor, they're nosy too, and they can be bullies.
They gang up on people.
That was funny. They was thinking they're better than Slytherin, but they be
bullying people too. Because remember, like if y'all watch the movies, Harry was in there. They all try to roll up on Harry and disapprove. Get out of here.
And they weren't even loyal to
Harry.
Sometimes the Gryffindor.
But that's why I said Gryffindor and the Snakes are twins.
Actually,
get out of
the
here.
Hufflepuff people were nicer to him.
Fuck with Hufflepuff.
Than the Gryffindor.
I fuck with Ravenclaw because they so weird. They don't have time for none of that.
Actually, it's funny. The least egotistical ones, which Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff, they actually were the nicest to everybody else.
Yeah.
Versus Slytherin and Gryffindor.
I agree.
Although I told BMORE my second place one was a Hufflepuff.
Yeah, Hufflepuff was fire.
I got that in second place.
But yeah, I'm like, y'all can keep Gryffindor or Slytherin. They basically the same nigga. You know how your man cheat on you, grow a beard, and then come back? Nope. Listen, the same man, same trick.
But you know, Prince had got Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff.
That makes sense for him.
He got Ravenclaw. Which one did he landed on though? Which one was the majority though?
Hufflepuff.
And then Ravenclaw was second place. Right. And then this is so funny about BMORE. I gotta tell y'all about it because it's funny. So I kept getting Slytherin and Hufflepuff, but I got 10% higher Slytherin. So we went to BMORE. She never got anything other than Ravenclaw.
Okay. Ravenclaw. Stop playing with me. I don't belong nowhere else.
She took the test 10 times and only got Ravenclaw all the time.
No. Because I want to be where the smart girls are. I'm out of here. Nope. And now with them fake ass bully haters with the snakes and the lions. Because they bully haters. I don't fool with them. They weird.
I'll send the quiz. I'll send the quiz for you.
Oh yeah, y'all have to get on the Wizarding World website, girl. That thing was fire, and then you could take the thing for the little wand thing, girl. That was so much fun. Talk about the video game. No, I didn't even get that new video game.
I'm gonna be getting it.
That new one that dropped.
I'm gonna be playing that.
But I'm about to get on there though.
I'm gonna have to get the PC version because I prefer PC gaming. But I'm gonna be getting that.
You do.
But in the chat, I just sent y'all the
quiz.
I sent y'all the quiz, so y'all can take the Wizarding World Harry Potter quiz, and see what it is. But it's good. There was a secondary site that showed you again the percentages if you have a little bit of a mixture. And again, even on that site, BMORE just got 100% Ravenclaw. You know, me. Again, it's just mostly
Slytherin
and Hufflepuff.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have been over with y'all. Y'all get too serious on niggas.
No, but I could be very sweet with the Hufflepuff.
I didn't say you wasn't. But I just say when you run too many snake niggas, they just get so serious out of nothing. I'm like, I'm out of here.
Roxelle said he turned this into
a Harry Potter stream. It did.
My fact, now that you told me about, I think about seeing if the Harry Potter is a PC game right now.
You should. It should be because they.
I'm about to play that.
I'm waiting for that game for like months. All right, let me get back to these notes because I'm gonna get on to the Capricorn risings because somebody was a Capricorn rising in here. We should get off of video games and books and stuff and get back into it.
How many do you have left?
Just this Capricorn, Sag, and then I guess we could shoot the fly.
I thought you did Sag already.
No, Sag was the last.
Okay, so it's Capricorn and Sag, and that's it.
Scorpio was first. You get them S's mixed up.
All right, yeah, you finished it. I'm about to go see. They got Hogwarts Legacy on Steam.
Okay. All right, so Capricorn risings. Let me get back on here. We're gonna finish this, and then I guess we could just spend the rest of the time talking about whatever we want to talk about. They said, "Oh, girl, they checked for you." Lauren said it's on a PC, and I'm a PC gamer as well.
Good, great. I'm gonna play it on Steam then.
Okay, so for Capricorn risings, you know, with Saturn being your ruler, it's in the second house, and so saving and financial responsibilities and working on your self-esteem or like crystallizing your self-esteem will be very, very important. And because it's conjunct Mercury, again, this could deal with like your mind being very focused on completing tasks, but it could also deal with issues of the past coming up or feeling regrets from the past. Because there's a light square to Venus, there can be an issue with money, in particular issue with money and romance. And the issue isn't necessarily like that you would never make any. The dynamic usually can mean a very seriousness. And so in this thing, it can give you an aspect where either relationships can either become stronger or they can become very distant and cold. And you can distance yourself from someone now and possibly a close friend or a relationship. And this really isn't the time for a new relationship or a new romantic interest, but it can help you access and realign your finances and pay off debts at the best. At its best, you can like kind of like what the Aquarius risings have, where they can analyze their income. So like if you're an Aquarius rising, you can find out your debt, don't take out any loans, but just see what's going on. And because you can have an unexpected bill come up, this could be a good time to do that, you know, to get into your finances and try to understand what's really all going on there. You guys also have it, let me see, where it could be easy to be loaded with responsibilities or have an absorbent amount of responsibilities or priority. It's really good to set some priorities or say no when there becomes a shift where other people try to make responsibilities or your responsibilities are tied to you. You can pursue any promising opportunities that pop up, which will probably require effort to earn rewards. Just take reasonable risk in these opportunities or career and business and try to just broaden your knowledge. Just don't try to say yes to anything, and which can be very helpful for your career, your sense of self, and help build your self-esteem. You know, and it does seem like a lot of you guys have things where y'all really trying to work on your self-esteem or sense of self in some of these dynamics. Even though there could be confusion and deception, I think that's in general like the main focus. And Capricorn is in the first house that has not yet passed over into Aquarius, and so again there could be a lot of willpower and focus on trying to get these things done in forms of transformation, you know. And so there can be a talent or gift of being entwined with your sense of self or being very fulfilled with your sense of self, and there could be a talent of having like Mercury principles, and so you're very curious, you're bright, and you're very knowledgeable. There could be some issues of you being unique or wanting change or uniqueness, and then you can act out and have some type of rebelliousness. And there could also be some issues with Neptune where again there could be some impetuousness, you should not be drinking, kind of act a little bratty. And there can also be some issues of you being confused, certain aspects to a certain extent, about being confused about who you are. But overall, this is can be really favorable for the Capricorn risings. The Capricorn risings should really be having a really wonderful setup to this week. It looks really good. Actually, I would argue that they probably would have overall the best one for this week. So yeah. With the full moon that is occurring, really we kind of still in the full moon in the vibe of it, but from the 7th up until the 9th, we're still in its apex. and the apex or the highest point probably be like around the 7th to 8th, depending where you live. So depending where you live, I'll say around the 7th or 8th. But even though we're in the 9th, we're still in the degree range that will still quantify a full moon. All right, so at this point, the full moon, your ascendant is square the full moon, and so there could be some issues with emotional security, and there could be some issues with being able to deal with life and life issues. Hold on real quick, guys. Okay, I'm back, y'all. So this really is I'm gonna be honest, I say the Capricorn rising is winning this week. You know, I feel like maybe the worst one, and don't take offense, I feel like the Capricorn, not the Capricorns, the Cancers really going through a lot emotionally this week, and so I kind of feel bad for y'all. Like, I feel bad for y'all because y'all kind of all over the place. But with the Capricorn risings during this week, there could be some issues with your in-laws or legal trouble. Travel or traveling plans could get delayed. I would not make any promises that you can't keep, and try not to trust the promises of others either, because they'll have issues maintaining them because of the house that they're in. There could be some bad legal issues, and this could be also a good time to look for spiritual support, or look for like going into religion and learning about spiritual pursuits and practices. So this could be a good time for that. But outside of like just travel plans can get messed up, legal issues with the in-laws, or like delayed travel, or just not making any promises you can't keep, and just be wary that if somebody make you a promise, just act like they ain't gonna be able to fulfill it. If you can operate like that, then you're good. If you can just operate as if they're not going to fulfill it, because there's a high chance that people can break promises to you. You know, you'll be able to be really good at speech and communicating, and being able to be emotionally centered and deal with life changes. But overall this week, this should be a really great week for Capricorn risings. Capricorn risings should not have an issue at all. Not one issue. And only maybe like around the 12th, y'all should have some issues where there could be some issues with you not being yourself, or you're presenting yourself how you are, and maybe some emotional issues with emotions, and you know, dealing with emotions. But for the most part, y'all still really well liked and getting along with a lot of people. All right, any questions, Capricorn risings, before I move over to Sage? Because actually this is the last one. Thank you. No problem. Yeah, y'all should have a great week. Just prepare that people just ain't going to keep no promises, really. Like, and you probably can't keep them either. Like, it's a flaky. At the best, it's flaky. It's a flaky week. You lying, they lying. Because y'all, that's the thing, is who lying to each other. Y'all both lying. But you still gonna have a good week. And see, the thing is, some of the other signs, people be lying and they having a bad week. They getting gossip doing that work. They know they people, all of that. Like, it really just depends. You know, but it's when honestly Capricorn is taking the crown, because they can break a promise, somebody else break a promise back, and nothing happening. You know, y'all, some of y'all getting gossip doing at work, people spreading rumors. You know, some of y'all head getting just a little bit ripped out. A week of capping, for real. For real. Like, Capricorns, they winning right now. I don't know what's going on, but they just breezing through it. Finna be a breeze. Finna be a breeze. I'm gonna lie my way to the top. I just lied, girl. And they lied too. And we both know we both lying. But it's okay. Because it's no hard feelings. So, very interesting. They just breezing through. All right. So for Sag, you know, they're where y'all have your rulership is in your fourth house, and so this is going to have colors that deals with home life, real estate, new family members, doing DIY projects, family, or taking in too much, just taking into like an absorbent excess of things, and which can provide some issues with, I guess you could say, this can make you very lucky, but again, having to be careful about watching where we having, I guess, not thinking about the details. That's the best way I can say it. This also means that you can be quite generous, and you could be quite indulgent, especially with family and friends and stuff like that. And it's kind of like very strong lover girl energy, and but also at the same time very, I'm gonna be just honest, just lazy. So you just have to rein yourself in a little bit. You could be having fun, socializing, spending money. Try not to spend too much. You need to give yourself limits. You could be eating too much, just being indulgent all the way around. You could receive a windfall or some luck this week for the Sag risings, which could often trigger just money or just abundance coming in. Try to save, y'all need to save y'all money or save whatever the luck that y'all got coming in this week, rather than just spending things to your heart desires. And this is just a general transit of the vibe, but this will practically, y'all, this will affect your home or private matters. So y'all just keep that to yourself. Now this week y'all could have some issues with communication. Y'all could have some issues with restlessness and maybe nervous energy. There could also be issues with relationships and having clumsiness and relationship dynamics. And there could be issues with, yes, y'all are hardworking, y'all prudent, but y'all can also have some mild health issues that can give you like rheumatoid issues, colds and flus and things like that. Jan, this is for Sag risings. If you're a Sagittarius rising. So this can give you some issues with these type of things. It is good for Neptune because you can be creative. You can be more open to these things or discovering who you are. You know, very just open-minded and very understanding. With Pluto in the mix, this can make you, again, very willful, diligent, getting tasks done, very strong willpower, very strong determination. And with Lilith, trying that you are okay with who you are and your unique sense of self. Just, you don't really feel at all with anything. You don't feel rejected. You don't feel any of those things. And there's a little bit of triact Chiron, so there could be some issues processing some of these things, and particularly the abundance that you receive. There could be some issues because, again, there's a lack of structure and a lack of discipline. And at the best, you would have to understand, you know, the abundance that you're getting in your home life versus the structure that can become an issue with your personality flaw. There's a personality flaw. That's why we haven't healed the personality flaw of structure, discipline, and restriction and responsibility, which can also arise from like insecurity. And that's why whenever you catch a lucky break, it's slipping through your fingers just as quickly as you get it. So it's not necessarily like bad or horrible, but again, things could come as quickly as you get it. And so a lot of times this deals with emotional fluctuation, and also just being overly indulgent with family members and also yourself as well. During this week, there could be some issues with, again, emotions and comfort. There's an issue with being uncomfortable with comfort, being uncomfortable with emotional ease, and some of these things can either be with too indulgent, or you're too strict or too highly disciplined to the point where there are no comforts. There's nothing comfortable going on. You don't feel relaxed. You can be kind of uptight, which I'm more so leaning towards because there is an air where you guys can be very intense in trying to get these things done, and I think y'all giving yourself some nervous energy unnecessarily so. The most you should do is you should be wise whatever lucky breaks y'all get, because y'all still getting some lucky breaks. Just be responsible. You know, just be responsible. There is again, a thing for lucky breaks. You can be at the right place, the right time, little effort. Be selective of the opportunities you pursue and what would be the best for you. Whatever the potential to bring to your maximum, like bring out these opportunities for maximum gain with reasonable effort, and have faith in your decision. I think most of you guys with the Sag, where you guys have an issue is that y'all have to be careful of y'all picking the things that are right for you. Because just because it's a good opportunity doesn't mean it's right for you. This is why I say y'all have to make sure y'all kind of having some common sense with some of these things and being able to think more sharply. Because sometimes y'all get, it's too much comfort. Y'all not thinking sharp enough or clear enough about what is best. Y'all just taking in like greed. It's kind of like a gorging energy, you know, which I can see would for Sagittarius, which deals with abundance. That would be hard for that sign to deal with. That would be hard for you because it's very natural for you to just do that. And with the full moon that was still under the influence would be in your 10th house. And so this could deal with your career, job changes, additional parental responsibilities, and issues with home versus work. And there could be conflicts around home and work, and issues with home, property, and ownership. So all of these things just kind of just fall into place where relationships, home, private matters, hidden matters, you know, all of the internal world versus your external world. And all these things just kind of push and pull you from place to place. And then come into situations where at some point the moon opposes your Jupiter, and so you could be at emotional odds, you know, with your comfort and relaxation. And so this can give you a sense to wanting to emotionally distance yourself from some relationships, or distance yourself from some home dynamics or more personal dynamics, and just break free from all of it. You know, so we have to just keep that in mind. Again, there could be some arrogance this week, like we talked about. Just be careful, because yes, you can be generous with people, kind, but the negative side, like there's an issue with arrogance and being violent, and people can suffer from like a illness or something from their arrogant behavior or being indulgent. So like watch if you're eating too much. I don't know what I said that like last week, but it still flows into this week as well. You know, because it's less so to do with like, you know, I'm here to tell you blah blah blah, and more so to do with, you know, there's a general flow. And sometimes where Jupiter is and how it hits a Sag rising, until Jupiter moves out in a few months, these people will be very arrogant, very indulgent, and some of this can cause illnesses or injuries. You know, it can cause injuries for people. Which house placements are you discussing? Right now, I'm discussing Sag, and particularly the relationship, the Sag risings and its relationship with Jupiter in the 4th house. Oh, that's cute.
Yep, that's my new profile.
I'm about to hold on, let me focus.
My new profile.
Let me focus. Let me ask some people.
On wizard.com.
Let me ask some people. But yeah, I'm doing Sag risings, and right now with Sag risings, because Jupiter is in Aries, this will be in their 4th house, and so it's going to square their ascendant, because your ascendant to your 4th house is 90 degrees, and then from your 4th house or your IC to your DC is 90 degrees, and then from your all of those are 90 degrees apart, but then also your IC opposes your MC, and so that's 180. And so again, this could give them issues with their 1st house, but also this indulgence, or I guess you could say abundance in the home, can also give them issues with other people as well. So Sag rising is getting blessed in certain regards, yes, but again, they have a very indulgent spirit on them, and so that could be an issue, because it can also be an issue of arrogance. Also discernment. It does seem like the Sag risings have an issue with discerning what is a blessing, what isn't a blessing, what's good for them, what's bad for them, what is a good opportunity, what isn't a good opportunity. You know, they kind of having an issue with that. So like in theory, yes, there could be a lot of blessings, but if you're that confused, how good can you make on these blessings? Do you get what I'm saying? And some of the blessings can put you at odds with other people, and there can be emotional distancing because other people, family, women, these dynamics are stressing you the hell out, so you want to emotionally distance and get rid of it. Yeah. But yeah, so like they're having it is great, but it seems like sometimes abundance and blessings doesn't always feel good or work out as well either. So it can be kind of stressful. So, and I feel like with the Sag risings, there can be a little bit of confusion about what options or opportunities they should take. Girl, F them people, I want my blessings. Yeah, and I do know, like, that's kind of like the general vibe of the chart. It's just being clear about what we need to do, because they can have a lot of optimism, uplifting thoughts. However, again, getting carried away with wishful thinking and hoping things will be as you want them to. And we should not be this easygoing right now without overloading their schedule or without really realizing or thinking things through. So you can overload your schedule, take on too many responsibilities. You're doing too much until it catches up with you. So be selective and only take on the abundance or take on the opportunity that you can manage. I guess that's the best way I can describe it, because the Sagittarius will get an opportunity, but because, like, again, there's a lack of discernment, or like I guess you could say common sense. And we talked about that with this full moon. Like, common sense is out the window. And Sag is a mutable sign. And so they're taking on way too much and can't even manage. Or they're picking things, or they're letting things pass them by, and they're not even like using discernment about what they can do, what they can't do, what will be a good opportunity for them, what isn't a good opportunity for them. So it kind of just like all over the place. And this can affect their career and their reputation. This can put them at odds or at unease with their reputation if they're not careful. You know. But overall, they're well liked. Wow, that makes sense. I have that problem. Yeah, no, this is the issue with Sagittarius this week. You know, this is just a general issue. And so, like, y'all have to try to think things clearly. If y'all can sit down with a piece of paper and write down, you know, what the opportunity is, pros, cons, how can I be disciplined, or when I get, you know, maybe if I get extra money, how can I be responsible with money, or if I get a gift, what can I do with it? Or even if you like, you know what, I'm about to go treat myself, maybe not eat the whole thing, eat half of it or a piece of it. You know, let's not do the most, because that sound like the issue is like y'all doing too much all the time. No, I'll pedal to the metal, no brakes, just full throttle, more. It's just, honestly, it's just greed in every sense of the word. You know, so y'all try to think things through, because it's like it's common sense not on the menu. And then the transit will pass, and then you miss the opportunity. But overall, like, it's not bad at all. It's not a bad thing for Sag risings, but I can see how y'all can get into trouble. I can see that. You know, next week come and go, and you like, dang, I just passed up blah blah blah, and I just let it slip through my fingers. I can see that. Because it's very strongly placed right now for Sag risings to struggle with these things. But any questions, you guys? Because this was Taurus through Sagittarius. I finished all of them. If you guys aren't Taurus through Sagittarius, and you guys have Scorpio to, I believe, Scorpio to Cancer, that's part 1, and y'all can watch that. But do you guys have any questions about this week? That makes sense. I constantly think I'm missing the opportunity. If you're a Sag rising, you probably are. Because there's a lack of, like, I don't know where y'all go at. Y'all just be gone. I don't know what's going on. But to be fair, Sagittarius can rule outer body experiences. And so I can see Sagittarius having a lot of outer body experiences. and maybe not all the way being there. They're not as sharp or as present. Y'all was right about the body issue. I got an ear infection. Y'all was right about me being a lesson. Yeah, I don't know Topaz. Topaz be I don't know, like I don't know what happens with Topaz, and this could be the Sag out of body experience thing, because like you'll listen to the thing, the chat, you listen to the stream, you go out, you fucking around, you find out and be like, yeah, you was right. I'm like, I mean, that's the one way to do it. And not recognize opportunities. Yeah. How do you find your rising sign? It is just your sign in the first house. Yes, try to look for the sign because it's an angular house. And so you want to look for your sign at the top in the first house, where basically where the line, basically it's a line of demarcation. That is your rising sign. Now, most people's houses aren't clean cut. And the houses come in different sizes. And the first house is a very big house. It takes up a lot of sizes. It's not, all the houses aren't the same size. And so most people have 2 zodiac signs in most houses, but sometimes I've seen people with their first house have up to three zodiac signs in their first house, because the first house is so big. So the houses aren't even the same sign. You know, so that happens to a lot of people. Yep, Sag rising, Leo sun. Yeah. So that happens all the time. I'm always getting wet. What did I do? It's just a lack of forethought. You know, you're not really, but that's what I'm saying about the Sagittarius right now. The Sagittarius we're having blessings, but we're not being wise either. So like if you're Sagittarius, your ruler is Jupiter. Okay, Jupiter's in the 4th house and it's in Aries, which is impulsive. And so it's impulsive, being fanatical, not thinking things through, being aggressive. And if that's squared your first house, which is already a Sag rising, and then it's squared your DC, which deals with other people, you can be getting to a lot of altercations with people due to your impulsiveness, but the impulsiveness is your house ruler. So it kind of makes it even more stronger. And since it's your 4th house, it deals with very, I guess you could say, hidden or very deep childhood, I guess you could say very ancestral things that attach to your family, your childhood, or home life. It can make it very hard for you to not be impulsive about these things, because you do it so strongly and impulsively. It's tied to these types of stuff. I be in La La Land too. It's a way to escape. Yeah, it is. You know, Sagittarius do with travel, so they move around. So I can see that being a thing for them. Jupiter is my dominant planet. What does that mean? It can mean that it's a main focus in your chart, and so that means that a lot of your placements deal with Jupiter, or it's heavily aspected. Sometimes there's certain planets that are heavily aspected, and so when Jupiter makes these movements or moving around, you could be affected a lot, because something about Jupiter is a very strong thing for your soul and spirit. They want to learn something about Jupiter. It's very important for you. So sometimes people have signifiers in a chart where their chart is centered around certain planets, and it's something that they just want to learn. You know, their soul is here to figure out something, and it's heavily tied to a planet. Somebody opening up Christmas presents in the background. I'm dead. It's not even Christmas present. It's food. That's them busting open food.
I did empty out the back like Christmas.
Cause you know, every time somebody on live, send busting open some food somewhere. So it's food. It says my planets in the first house is Gemini with your first. Okay, so Gemini with Sun, Mercury, Mars, and Chiron. Okay, so if it says your first house is so you're Gemini rising with Sun, Mercury, Mars, and Chiron. So yeah, that's a major focus for you. And if it's in your first house or first quadrant, it has to do with yourself and how you identify. And so if Chiron's there too, you probably also have to heal issues with yourself. So this deals with your self-identity, what you think about yourself. Mars deals with your force, or how do you exert your force or yourself. Okay, baby, stay right there. Thank you.
I didn't want to fall on the floor.
I appreciate you. Thank you. But how you exert force out into the world, and some of these forces are heavily tied to your self-identification, and the Chiron deals with healing and having to heal yourself. So that's a lot of things. Like, actually, big step 85 as an example of like how people can have like a very strong push in a zodiac placement. So like for self-discovery, like there's a very strong centering, like they have like a planet, what is called a planetary ruler. And so I don't know what his chart looks like, but one could argue that maybe Big Step's planetary ruler, or there's a zodiac, a strong stellium in the first house. I don't know if I told y'all about this, but I found out me and my grandfather have the same Lilith placement. Well, it's not uncommon to have ancestral placements. A lot of people have that. I have some placements that are very similar to my mother, you know, but this is what I was talking about, children imprinting on the parent. And so like when I read your chart, like Topaz, when I told you that you thought your dad was a criminal and you was like, oh my God, my dad went to jail, and I'm like, yeah, that happens. Like the children imprint on the parents and it comes out in their zodiac chart. That happens all the time. And so there's probably something karmically that you have to learn about this whole Lilith. It could plague your whole family for all you know. Are you making a smoothie? Child, I'm not making a smoothie. People are eating.
Tell them to focus on the lesson. That's what we need to do. We need to be focused on the lesson, not distractions outside the classroom.
Same house sign, everything. Yeah, because children imprint. That's what people forget. Because there's been people's charts I read, and I mean, I don't know them, but they're like, dang, how would you know that about my mother or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's in the chart. You imprinted on, you know, your family. And so the soul recognizes that. That's why, like, to be honest, I really don't have that much patience with too many raggedy parents. And I understand that they don't understand this. But, like, raggedy parents, like, they have to understand, like, these children are already imprinting on you in, like, the womb. So, like, the child understands things on a very deep psychological level, even in the stomach. And so, like, they already come with their own biases. They already come out what they already think about you. It's in their chart.
Chris Rock was funny when he was talking about, you think I taught her to bite? That's all on her.
Yeah.
It's make sure their own code and environmental influences. And then
yeah. The imprinting.
Ancestors.
Yeah. I think my ascendant is in my first house. Your ascendant is your first house. Your ascendant is your first house. And particularly, it's a very concentrated angle. It's the beginning part of your first house. Thanks, BMORE. I'm about to send you a donate to a Cash App for that. No problem. My mom is a Sun Sagittarius, but I'm a rising. And that makes sense for you because, again, there's an imprintation on there. And so your first house deals with initiations. And so, for example, if you look at a person's chart and depending what's going on between their 12th and their first house or their 12th and their rising sign into the first house, you actually would get a very strong birth story. So, like, if you see certain planets in their 12th house or the first house, you get a birth story. And so sometimes it means that there was probably danger around the time that child was born or very intense labor and delivery. It can mean that maybe the person has had surgery, you know, all types of things. Sometimes you see someone's chart and it implies that the parent really wasn't very happy about being pregnant with the child. And it's unfortunate, but you have to look at the chart and see that because the child is imprinting on them. And so then they'll have unconscious urges about not belonging or not feeling safe enough, and they'll exert these biases on the world. And so you do have to, like, be able to pick these things up. Somebody said Prince sound like somebody dead. There's a generational pain from my mother and father. They both had negative experience with parental figures, just for me to have the same issue. And that's what I'm saying. It's the imprinting. And so, like, there's something in the ancestral line that's trying to work out something. Like, there's an energy that it's desiring for it to be worked out. You know? Cash apps from me come tomorrow, payday. That's very sweet. Thank you, guys. But, yeah. Any other questions about charts? Because it seems like y'all, also, just so we clear, y'all imprinted a lot on each other. Yeah, she also gave me her depression, unfortunately. I'm sorry to hear that, child. I'm so sorry to hear that. You know, therapy bag. Me and my mother got the same Mars. Yeah. So now y'all starting to see the vibe of y'all imprinting on your parents. But when you look at a chart, you can see how people are printing. You do Scorpio risings. I did Scorpio risings in the video before.
Yeah, you gonna have to go to the other
It's
video.
the first rising sign I did this week. I'm gonna pick a different rising sign because each week I do something different. I'm gonna go back and rewatch the Little Stream. Yeah, the Little Stream is really good. People have to understand where their rejections are. You know, where their erotic obsessions with survival is, or where they're rebellious at.
Prince.
You know.
Prince.
What is it?
I had a code sent to my email. Can you tell me what it is? You know what email it is. It has my name.
Hell. LOL, I should just go at this point. I mean, and just to work out that. And I wouldn't be shocked if I looked at your mom's chart and then she probably had emotional issues going on. It said, "Oh, y'all chewing real loud, child. Food busting." It's not me eating, child. I'm sitting here. That's person said eating loud like that.
Be more trying, potentially innocent.
I'm not eating.
I know you're not. I just felt like
I'm gonna eat when I get off. Damn, Uncle Willie eating them grapes.
That was how Prince was chewing. He was just
Wow.
minding his business. He was
Black man.
I don't be mind your business. Don't talk to me.
like, don't talk to me while I'm eating.
I said, you said Chiron is what you work on yourself. Chiron is where your soul processes. It processes grief. It processes illness. It processes pain.
26.
It processes healing. It actually gets you to healing. Yes, in a way, you're right. You can work on yourself, but it's where your soul is going to process all these things. And sometimes it's forever. And so a lot of times it can be seen as like the eternal wound, you know. And a lot of times there's also literature about it also affecting your personality and how it can color your personality as well, or give you forms of charisma. So what about Node? Node is about your life purpose. It's they're midpoints, and so they can give you your life purpose or help you to understand karma placements and karma dynamics. So your nodes tell you about your karma, tell you about your life purpose, you know. But that's what they do. That's what they show you. When I found out my mother got a Mercury in Aries, I said that all adds up. That woman stay cussing up a storm. Yeah, Mercury and Aries, they're definitely not known for chill. How did you find your Chiron? If you go on most websites, they'll tell you how to find Chiron. Like if you go on AstroSeek, it'll show you how to find it. As long as you have your birthday, your time, and your location, it should pop up. Like on AstroSeek, it should do that. And that's in the chat already. So if you scroll up a little bit, and I don't think it's that many people commenting, I'm sure you can find it, but it's you look up AstroSeek, and then you do the birth chart calculator. If you look up AstroSeek, you do birth chart calculator, it'll pop up.
I found it.
Your Lilith will pop up on there too. So. Alright, y'all. Any more questions? I'm actually about to hop off of here and go eat. No problem, Corey.
I also told them I should do the Harry Potter stuff already.
Oh, yeah. You put it in the chat already?
Yeah. They make their own character profile and everything.
Oh, yeah. So, everybody who's interested in getting into the Harry Potter gang, y'all just scroll up and then you go into like the Wizarding World or something like that. It's in there. Go on there. You set up your account. You do the test. It tell you which group you in, which house you in, and then you could like take a test for your wand, all this other stuff. It's a lot of fun. My North Node is in Taurus. I was meant for the high life. I mean, one could argue that, but it could also mean you're in for hard work.
What she said? She got what?
It's Topaz. Topaz always getting like.
What did Topaz say?
You know what? That's
You got what and what?
You know what?
Topaz is funny.
Topaz make me laugh because I don't know what kind of karma Topaz got because it's always instinct. It's never like No
I got
delay.
Saturn and Taurus, so I know I'm about to get this money. But actually, this is what.
Y'all don't argue with nobody. I argue with my brother and I hit my toe. I'm like, Jesus. I don't know. Topaz is funny to me. I don't know what that chart doing, child, but the karma be instant.
Yeah, I used to lie when I was younger, but I don't anymore.
Instant karma. Y'all stay trying to key on me. Oh my God. You key on yourself. You keep coming up here telling your business. And it be funny business too. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Y'all be safe. Again, no drinking. Watch how y'all drive. Y'all be safe. No impulsive stuff so y'all don't have any accidents. And no arguing with people. No arguing with people.
Also, it's okay to have, if you are one of those people that keep getting more than one house, I got 2 different profiles. I got my Slytherin profile and my Hufflepuff profile on 2 different emails, so, which is probably a Slytherin thing to do, but.
It is a Slytherin. You proving a point. That's why you kept getting Slytherin. Like, girl, I'm not doing all that. All right, y'all. Bye. Good night. Be safe.